finish it.
Oh, Courtney. Good one.
Thank you for that, Courtney. So what
That's my best friend.
we said the last one was fist for your complex carbs. So cupping for your veggies, and really focusing on the side of your palm for your protein and the side of your fist for complex carbs. And we're going to jump in. Aaron, was that a question?
No, he's going like this.
Okay. So perfect. So that's the first level. So making sure you have your the right proper portion size is the first step to making sure what you're eating, you're not taking in excess. And then really the second thing is going into what Nina shared with us today is using and taking advantage of the tools that are out there to make sure you're staying within your ranges. So Nina, like she said, this week in my local power group, we really were talking about using MyFitnessPal and, tracking what we're putting in. And the big thing about that is that allows us to monitor our caloric ceiling. So not only do we want to make sure we're eating the right stuff, but for everyone's body type, in terms of height, weight, and where you're looking to go, there's a certain amount of calories that you should be ingesting on a daily basis. And so, it's twofold. One, we don't want to go in excess of those calories. Because if we're going in excess, we're going to actually start to get, we're going to actually gain versus lean out. If that's the goal. And for our gainers, if we go in a deficit, then we're going to lean out instead of gain. But also what we want to make sure of is that, and I had a couple instances this week where we don't want to take in too little of calories. So it's like, oh, well, I really want to lose weight fast, so I'm going to take in 1,100 calories. So what'll happen is the body is such a perfect machine, it'll adjust to that. So it'll say, you know what, now I'm not taking in enough, so I'm going to store it as fat because it'll trigger in the body that I'm starving.
And just to add to that, even if you're not doing it consciously, like you're not taking in enough or your snacks aren't set up to be enough calories, you could do like what I did this last week. I didn't get enough calories in, and at the end I was like ravenous. I was like, give me anything to put in my body because I'm hungry. You also can become tired without enough calories.
I actually can attest to that. Since I'm doing 2 workouts a day a lot, I noticed that I was getting tired and I was starving. And it was because of calorie deficit. So what I started doing is that I started packing extra snacks. Mm-hmm. Normally I start getting hungry right about the 1:45, 2-hour mark. So what I started doing now is that as soon as I started feeling that hunger, I had a cheese stick because I knew that was my body asking for those calories that I wasn't feeding it.
Perfect. Yeah.
Awesome. And so really just taking in those little things, and whether it's MyFitnessPal, there's a couple other nutritional trackers you could use. I love it because there's so many support tools with smartphones to make sure we're hitting on all cylinders to get to our result. Benny was after Six Pack Saturday yesterday. We were blending up shakes, and I hear alarm going off. He's like, "Oh, time for me to eat." And I was, and it's so perfect because you can have your alarm set up based on when you wake up in the morning to go off every 2 to 3 hours just to support that extra reminder. Even if you're not hungry or even if you're on top of it, just that extra reminder to keep you in alignment, which will keep you playing at that 5 level. And so if you haven't already, like really implement those this week. MyFitnessPal, it's tedious a little bit in the beginning, but once you got your pretty much your range of what you eat in place, is such just a tap and go to upload your meals that it's very effective. And I find out I get my best results when I'm consistently on MyFitnessPal and tracking my food.
Benny, I see you with that meal prep.
And so is there anything else on the nutritional side? Any questions in terms of portion size, MyFitnessPal, trackings, any trackers that's anyone uses that they like to throw out to the team to try this week?
I had a question. You said that you said there's a certain amount of calories we're supposed to consume. How do I find that out?
When you upload it into MyFitnessPal, so if you put in MyFitnessPal and your goal, it'll pop that out. And if you look at your kickoff email, it's in there for you.
Okay.
Okay, so when you do your setup on MyFitnessPal, it'll perfectly set you up to know what your caloric ceiling is based on your target.
Another thing that MyFitnessPal tells you is that if you're going over your protein levels, your sugar levels, and your carb levels.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's a great tool. It's free, so all you have to do is download it. Okay, and so if there's no question, no comment.
I do have a question. No,
Okay.
I do have a question.
Go ahead, Nina.
With MyFitnessPal, according to the goal that I set, it reconfigured my calories, my calorie intake to something less than what you suggested that I have. So how can I go in and adjust that?
So it reconfigured it to what now?
It made my caloric intake less than what you suggested that it should be based on what I put in as my goal.
You can go ahead and if you go into custom, so inside of if you go onto MyFitnessPal and you go into the goals, you can customize what you want your intake to be. So you can actually set that your caloric ceiling on a custom level.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Aaron.
Is there such thing as too much protein?
Yes. So in terms of standard is and if you go to bodybuilder standard, it's a gram of protein for every pound of body weight. But what I recommend, because that's kind of like the standard that generally people speak into, I always go for a gram of protein for your goal weight. For instance, if I'm 280 and my goal is to be 230, and I know that I have 30 pounds of fat to lose, if I'm taking in 280 grams of calories, because that's where I'm at now, that's not actually how much muscle mass I have. That's based on actually fat size, if that makes sense. So I always target the protein intake to the level, to the number, or to the weight of my goal. So if I'm shooting for 200, then I'm going to take in 200 grams of protein. Okay. And so what will happen is, just to let you know, what will happen if you take in excess amounts of proteins, like you'll see a lot of guys at the gym, they're like, oh yeah, I took in 50 grams of protein in my shake. Your body will either release it with your waist, or your body converts it to fat. And I have experience being a super protein drinker on my journey. And then at the end of the week, I was like, wow, I got fat. And then I realized I was pounding protein shakes, and that was not the business.
Yeah, I was gaining weight on protein bars, and I didn't understand why. Then I did.
And it is important too to get the right amount, because that is what allows, for instance, everyone on our nutrition plan. The reason why, like, we're working out, and even though no one may be on heavy amounts of cardio, it's a big switch when you get on an Herbalife nutrition plan, is because you start to take in the proper amount of protein at the proper times, and it naturally gives your body the fuel to start building muscle in general, let alone when you start resistance training. Okay, cool. All right, moving right along. The next thing we want to talk about too, and it leads right into it, is so once you got your nutrition on point, you got your caloric ceiling, you're taking in the right amount of proteins, how do we get this fat off? So I don't think we have any builders on the call necessarily. I think everybody's looking to shed to a certain degree. And so what is the most effective way for us to burn it up? That's really what we're going to talk about in terms of our 20%.
20%.
So actual resistance training burns more calories over the course of 72 hours than just general cardio. So it's really big that if you're looking to get the most amount of fat off in the shortest amount of time, you want to have a resistance program in place. And so what that means, it could be weightlifting. It could be doing banded exercises. So if you have the resistance bands, it could be, pushing something. If you have a tire or a sled, just some type of some people have tires and sleds. She laughs.
I just pushed Joe around.
But Benny knows that world. Some people have tires, sleds.
I say we get a tire at the Fit Lab. The nutrition club, I mean. And so really adding in a resistance portion to your program.
So whether it's getting on a machine or anything like that, that will add you burning more calories over the course of time. Now, with that type of, when you say what type of program should it be, circuit training. So I lost my 26 pounds doing 3 days a week for 45 minutes, a resistance circuit training program. And I lost 26 pounds in 90 days. I put on 8 pounds of muscle and dropped 8% body fat. Completely transformed myself. Obviously, I had Herbalife, which blew my mind away because I knew that normally I shouldn't be able to do that easily. And so the way that that's built out is usually a resistance exercise. So let's say we just did dumbbell lunges, then a ab exercise. So let's say right after dumbbell lunges, we went into doing sit-ups to work the core. And then after that, something like 30 jumping jacks. So something that simple will allow your body, and building a whole program like that will really allow your body to burn more calories during the workout, more calories over the course of time. It will be the most effective way for you to burn that fat in a given amount of time.
Resistance can also be body resistance too. So like you said, like abs, push-ups can be resistance as well. Like the things that we do out on the park, that's resistance. And then you're going to go into cardio resistance. There's also the cardio resistance where you're walking on an incline instead of just walking on a normal or even running on a no incline. What we do at the hike, walking on an incline, that's definitely resistance. Anything that's going to be working your muscles. The Stairmaster, is that what it's called? Stairmaster is resistance. And even going on an elliptical, just putting a little bit of resistance so you're working your muscles. So they also are burning while you're resting.
Yeah, so really just making sure you have that, that burn in it. I know, Aaron, you've been, and just point you out, just because, I know it's very relevant on the thread, is always increasing that, the resistance on the elliptical, and the difference you feel in the amount of energy expenditure you put out in a short amount of time. So for me, I hardly ever, I may run a mile, 3 miles, just because I've been inspired by Aaron running outside. So I started to do that 2 weeks ago. Normally, all my cardio consists of is 20 minutes post-workout every day, walking on an incline at like 2.5 to 3 speed. So enough to get my heart rate up, a high incline, so 20 to 30. So it's really burning my legs up, but it's not a run at all. It's just a slow walk, and that resistance, I see great results. And so it doesn't have to kill you every time, but definitely if you're running and you're getting your heart rate, you're working your lungs, you're going to just, really affect your whole cardiovascular system.
What I do for cardio at the gym, obviously in the mornings I run, but that's for my personal reasons. But what I do is that it sums up to about 15, 17 minutes. I do 4 to 5 songs, and I do standing cycle. But what I do is that I do intervals where I'm standing cycle with a high resistance, and I'm trying to go as fast as I can with that resistance on it. And then I slow it down and get low, almost as if I'm doing squats on the cycle, but I just keep it at a slow, steady pace with that resistance up. And I die.
Awesome. Thank you.
Awesome. Anyone else?
Any questions?
All right. Moving right along. We're going to pass it to Amanda. And I just can't say enough. About Amanda. What she's been up to on her journey. I had the opportunity to coach her in the beginning when she transitioned, and had a chance to work with her in stepping into a healthy, active lifestyle. And it's just really been a pleasure. Obviously, I love her to death, and she's my great partner in life. But just as a leader, in terms of what she does, what she believes with this team, the passion she has for each and every person has been amazing. And just to see her always, I'll throw questions at her, and she's like always learning more about nutrition, fitness. She's a certified personal trainer, so she has a lot of tools and a lot to contribute. And she's always, looking to see how she can, make herself better for the team. So it really, really, really is my pleasure and my honor to pass it back to her for the mindset piece.
Thanks. Awesome. So we did nutrition and we did fitness. So the 100% mindset is next. I just wanted to touch on the beginning of my journey when Joe was my coach. He is my coach now still. And a couple things happened, and I want to talk about it. We're going to be talking about commitment. And when it gets to this point of the challenge, things get hard. Life happens. We're moving. There's emergencies at work. And, can I do this? And, it's getting really hard, or I've plateaued. All of those things can happen. And they did happen when I was first on my challenge. And one of the first things was to really just trust the process and to trust my coach. So I put my, nutrition in Joe's hands. So I said, okay, I'm going to really trust him on this. And I remember one time I was going home late at night because I was cocktailing at this point, and it was like 2 a.m. or 1:30 a.m. or something. And I went home and I hadn't had my second shake. And I said to Joe, it's so late though, and I'm not hungry. And Joe said to me, and I'll never forget it, he said, you can do the same thing and get the same results, or you can do something different and get different results. And so I went home and I had my protein shake, or my Formula One meal replacement, and I ended up getting ridiculous results. Just trusting him and really listening to everything that he had to say, understanding that it was more of a marathon than a sprint. So even though we have 2 weeks left, this is a lifestyle. So we're creating habits that we'll be able to sustain for the rest of our lives. And that's really exciting because it never ends. It's eating right. It's working out our brain, working out our bodies, creating a community for a lifetime. And that's what we're doing here. So that was a really big deal for me. The other thing is I was going like impeccable on my challenge. I was eating every 2 to 3 hours. I had all of my snacks planned. I wasn't making any mistakes. So I was like, okay, I'm getting really good results. I'm moving along. And I'm like creating these habits, right? So I go home to Connecticut, and this is now 2 years ago. And my mom made homemade pizza. And my mom's homemade pizza is like my favorite thing on this whole entire world. So I had a couple of pieces. I had like 6 or 7. So I text Joe and I said, Joe, I felt so horrible. And I was like, Joe, I messed up. I had some pizza. And he said, don't worry. 1 piece of pizza is not a problem. Just jump on your plan, back on your plan. And I was like, well, I had 7. And he was like, no problem. And just, that's absolutely no problem. You did it. It's fine. Jump back on your plan. And it was really just like that click in my mind that even if we fall off, even if we, have a, piece of pasta and that's not part of our plan, or we have that 7 pieces of pizza and we waver a little bit and we go off of our plan, it's okay. You just jump back on. It's not like, oh, well, my whole week is messed up and now I'm just gonna, whatever. Like, papers up in the air and I'm done with this challenge. I messed up. It's over now. It's not over because we have the whole rest of our lives. So jumping back on the plan is the best thing that you can do for yourself. So I was like, all right, so in 3 hours, I'm going to have my shake. And that's what I did. And it really supported me in staying on my plan, staying consistent and moving forward. And now 2.5 years later, I've maintained what I've lost, and I've been maintaining my lifestyle and now inspiring others around me. And life happens. It happens, and it's okay, and no problem, and just jump back on your plan. And it's really that simple. And if you let yourself off of the hook, right, if you're not mad that you did it, and then you're sad that you're mad, and then you're guilty that you're sad that you're mad that you did it, and it's this whole cycle because you indulged. Instead of saying, I indulged, okay, great, back on my plan. And that's what gets to happen, and that's what the most beneficial thing that you can do for your body. So that's my mental portion of today.
Awesome. So
listen to your coach. They know what they're doing.
So it really goes back into, and it kind of shared it in the beginning, in terms of where we're at. We're 2 weeks in the challenge, and obviously it's the opportunity to take it to the next level and continue to look at that. But really, to be, I think the most effective thing that I've learned over the course of time and really have landed this week is like the greatest champions are the ones who make the greatest comebacks and the quickest comebacks. So really why we're on this journey, which is for a lifetime, like Amanda said, is preparing our minds that how well can I rebound when I'm off? Everyone on this call at some point may be off. I'm not going to say will be, because that's just a possibility. But may be off, may have the cake, may have something out of alignment with their commitment. But it's, instead of, the opportunity to choose, just like Amanda said, all of the beat up that comes along with the high achievers that we have on our team, or just simply even right back onto the tracks, because it is for a lifestyle. And these are long-term goals that are going to be passed on to our great grandkids, to our families, to our communities, to the world. So really excited about that. So in terms of the mindset this week, it's really, always challenge yourself to be at the next level. But in life, what areas can I rebound with less?
You guys keep freezing.
Can you hear us now?
Yeah.
Awesome. So in life, in what areas can I rebound and just keep moving? In what areas can I get back on the tracks? Forgive myself, keep moving forward.
And if you do fall off or something happens where there's a piece of cake, reach out to your accountability partner, reach out to your coach, reach out to somebody that you're doing it with, so that they can support you in getting out of that self beat up. Because it happens. We get it. We absolutely get it. Sometimes I slip and I'm like, dang it. And then I'll just talk to Joe, and Joe's no problem. Just get back on, eat a hard boiled egg, or drink a lot of water, right? And that's what you get to do. So if it's, Julie reaching out to Courtney or Aaron reaching out to Joe, like whatever it looks like I messed up. Okay, great. Now what? What, go on a treadmill.
So what, now what?
So what, now what? And that's really what it is. And that's what supports it in the entire life, because you're not going to not have a piece of cake for the rest of your life. It's just not going to happen. I mean, or you could not.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Amanda. And so really, we're coming to the conclusion of the call, so I'm really excited about this. Is there any shares, really, before we go? Are there any shares or comments about that before we move on?
I'll hold off. I know we're running short on.
This moment will never be here again. So go ahead, Julie. Leaders are laser anyway, so you'll be laser.
Yeah. I know, Joe, my fallbacks from the get-go from a year and a half ago. Amanda experienced the first major one that I had this past week. But that's like the number one thing that has always been hardest for me to accept and really grow out of, is to hold someone else accountable for me. I have never done that. And that's exactly what I'm doing, in reaching out to Joe and reaching out to Amanda and reaching out to whomever it is to help me get back on track. That's me holding somebody else accountable to hold me accountable. And my thing was, a year and a half ago when I first started, I was letting outside influences really trigger the way I ate, the way I slept, whether I worked out or not, whether I went out or not, whether I had a drink or not. And then now it's like I had a mindset fallback this past weekend, and I really just felt lost up until I shared with Amanda and Joe, and the questions were asked, it got pretty deep, the whys and the hows and the what am I gonna do to fix it? So it happens. It happens. I have a slice of pizza once in a while. I have a burger once in a while. Actually, that was my celebration meal today. But that's okay, because I just had a snack and I'm gonna have my shake after. So we're done. It's okay. So what now?
Yes. And so thank you so much for that, Julie. And I think that's very powerful. Holding people accountable to hold me accountable. Wow. How many people in our life do we say that to? You said you support me. That's breakthrough for me. Good. That was nugget. Just got blopped on the head. Okay. So I made it up. I have
he makes up words when he gets excited.
Always. My whole life. So super excited now to just move on. We have a lot of amazing stuff happening, and we have an amazing leader here who is going to be closing out the call, giving us what's coming up in the following week. And so going to pass it over to this awesome leader who is in her new home up north, has been planning to win so much for this team.
Seattle.
For this team, for the community, for her hometown. She has a ton of challengers in her hometown that she's been affecting. And just that smile you see there has been, really in our life, since I've known Amanda, I've had a chance to experience this amazing woman. And so passing it over to Coach Courtney to close us out with our upcoming events.
Man, Seattle doesn't start with the C.
I understand that, but I can't make an S with my finger, so.
Okay.
I understood that.
Hi, guys. See, Erin, there you go. Coach Courtney here in Seattle. Super excited. And I just wanted to say that I've been a part of this community for about 2 years and taking my results super seriously within the past couple months. And each time I get closer and closer, I'm more fired up and just really hitting home for me when I see my friends and family creating the results that I knew that they could. I've always believed in them. So it's super exciting to continue moving forward and sharing the love. And I just wanted to catch everyone up on what's coming up. STS is this upcoming Saturday, the 19th. Raise the roof if you're going. Oh. And if we can't see you, I hope you're still doing it. And the September 26th is the following Saturday, and that's the Mud Run. Raise the roof if you're doing that. I'm not going to be here. And if you don't have that information, you can go on the Facebook group and sign up. There's an event there, and I hope everyone signs up. The sooner you sign up, the cheaper it is, so get on it. And just reminding you to check in with your coaches for your weekly pictures, your updated progress photos. So get those in so we can celebrate you and your results. And I think that's it. Yeah. Awesome.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you, Courtney. Sure. Okay, guys, so that wraps it up. Just keep going. That's it. Just keep going. Just keep swimming, as Dory would say. Put yourselves first. Keep putting yourselves first. Putting your nutrition, meal prep. Today is meal prep Sunday. On Sundays, we meal prep. And, just keep going. And you guys are doing so amazing. The energy on this group is incredible. We love watching your progress. It's inspiring. And, so have an amazing week 3. We'll have the call next Sunday. Send in your pictures like Courtney said. Stay on the group. Stay connected and contribute. You'll see the best results.
All right, everyone who can hop on video really quick, hop on. We're going to take a picture before we head out.
I got to do it. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
All right, everybody, have an amazing week. Beast out. So Amanda said keep going. I'm saying take it up to another level. Really access a higher level of yourself. Go harder. Prove more to yourself this week than you ever have in your life. That's what's possible, and it's just awesome that in every moment we could prove more to ourselves than we ever have before. So it's a great possibility. Have an amazing week. We will see you on Zoom. Connect with somebody on Voxer. Connect with somebody you don't know on Voxer. Spread the community. And until we see you again,
Yay,
bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Keep it up.
Bye.